Alrighty, let's try some of this. Let's make sure this is going. Sorry, real quick. Oh, we're going. We're live. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright, come back here. Let's practice some of these exponents of 0 or negative exponents. Oh, you got something raised to the 0 power? That's 1. That's 1. And number 5, this becomes 1 times 4 squared is 16. That's 16. Still got to use your basic math facts here too, folks. This is 1. 3 to the 4, ooh, I'm not sure right now. But I do see that we have the same bases here. Well, 4 plus 3, I'm looking at the exponents here. 4 plus 3 is 7. So this is the same as times 3 to the 7. 1 times anything is that thing. So our final answer is 3 to the 7. Could have noticed that all of these have the same basis. So you could have just taken 4 plus 0 plus 4 plus 3. That's also 7. Ooh, let's do some negative exponents. So here, folks, the a has a negative exponent. So it goes to the bottom, or it goes to the other side of the fraction, I should say. What fraction? That fraction. So the a to the 4, negative 4, drops down to the bottom and becomes a positive exponent. The 3 has an exponent of 1, which is positive, so it stays on top. Final answer. Same idea with number 11. The a is raised to the negative 1. Well, that's a negative, so it's got to go down to the other side of the fraction bar, so it goes to the bottom. That's a to the 1, which we do not actually have to write. It's a positive 1. It can stay or can become invisible. Our negative 2 stays on top. Same idea here. Final answer, 2 divided by n to the 4th. Negative 2 divided by a squared. Here, the 3 stays. So 3 is on top. These two are traitors. They go down to the bottom. Yeah, by the way, sometimes I call negative exponents traitors because they appear on one side of the fraction bar, or they appear on one side, and then they actually belong to the other one. So that's why they move. We need to move them. Whoa, Mr. P screwed up. Once we move them, though, so this is actually playing for the bottom. So once it goes to the bottom, it shows its true colors. It becomes a positive exponent. Here, this goes to the bottom. So it's n squared. What goes on top? A 1. let's put some things together that we've learned in the past. Here we're going to sprinkle that power of 2 to the 4 and to the r squared. So we have negative 4 squared times r to the 4. Now, when we take negative 4 and multiply it by itself, that becomes a positive. Remember, if we have a negative number to an even exponent, it becomes positive 16 r to the 4. Let's sprinkle here. We get x to the power of positive 2. Final answer. Sprinkle here. Now we have a negative raised to the 4th power. That becomes a positive when we multiply the exponents together. A positive n to the 16th power. Boom. Sprinkle, sprinkle. So now we get negative 2 to the negative 3 times x to the power of negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. So now pump the brakes. We've got a negative exponent. We can't have that. It's playing on the top right now, but it's a traitor. It needs to go down to the other side of the fraction bar, and the exponent becomes positive when it moves down there. Yeah, the 2 is negative out in front. That has to go along with it. That doesn't get switched. And it's x to the 6th. So that's a decent answer. Otherwise, you might see an 8 down there, because a negative 8, because 2 to the 3rd is 8. And then we should really put that negative sign out in top or in front. Boom, final answer. Sprinkle, sprinkle. negative 3 to the negative 1 times n to the positive 2. So that becomes n squared over negative 3, or negative n squared over 3. Alright, let's try this. So for these, I see some people have more success if we rearrange number 31. So I'm going to pull the coefficients out. Negative 4 times negative 2 times the first x to the fourth times the other x to the fourth. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. And then we add the exponents here. Bam. Try that again. Maybe without rewriting it, we have negative 4 times positive 4. That's negative 16 times n to the 6th power. Here, we have a negative exponent, so that's going to become negative x to the 3rd power. And here, remember that anything to the raised to the 0 power is 1. So we really have negative 3 times 1. So that's negative 3. Now a negative times a negative, or negative divided by a negative is a positive. Ooh, is a positive. So these essentially cancel out. Wow, Mr. P, you gave us a lot of problems. Yeah, but it's fun. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. We have 2y to the 4th times 2 to the negative 2 times x to the negative 2 times y to the negative 8. Negative exponents go to the opposite side of the fraction bar. So all of these go to the opposite side of the fraction bar. So we've got 2y to the 4th divided by 2 squared times x squared times y to the 8th power. Now, let's give you enough space here. We have 2y to the 4th divided by 4x squared y to the 8th. Now this 2 divided by 4 is the same as 1/2. And the x squared goes down there. Now we have not talked about this yet, but when we have a y on the top and the y on the bottom of this term, they kind of get in a battle. And the bottom wins because its exponent's bigger. How much bigger is it? It's bigger by 4. The difference between 4 and 8 is 4. So we get y to the 4th. I didn't mean to put number 37 on there. I'm sorry, folks, because we haven't talked about this battling thing yet. We'll take care of it the day after you see this. So here, sprinkle. We get x to the positive 12 power. Now we have y times x to the 0. That's right, that's 1. So our final answer is x to the 12th times y. Oh, that's it. Yeah, wasn't that fun?